Hello, everyone. Welcome to Aptera Owners Club. A week ago, San Diego Business Journal put out this article and had quite a bit of new information. Well, not a lot, but a little bit of new information. So I thought we'd go over it together. So they said Aptera Motors has big plans for 2022, and they say they're doing well. And this is what's surprising. We're hiring 30 people. We're 30 people into hiring 500 people in 500 days here in San Diego. So they are planning to hire a lot of people by the time they reach 500 employees. So we kind of knew. They said before in the webinar and stuff that they're going to go on a hiring spree, and they're needing to hire a bunch of engineers. And they started off with like 30 people, and I think they've more than doubled or tripled their employee base now. And they're gonna go up to like almost 20 times their employee base to facilitate the process. So they're into this 777,000 square foot facility in Carlsbad. We know exactly where that is, the address and everything. I talked about it in one of my previous videos. To facilitate the process of creating the automobile facility, Monroe and Associates is helping out. They said everything from testing the vehicle before it leaves the facility by spraying water hoses at it to test for leaks and lights to test for imperfections on the body to how you fill the brake fluid. It's been amazing to work with them. And I think they give us real leverage in getting a lean manufacturing operation in Carlsbad sooner than later. So I know many of us feel very good that Monroe and Associates is involved with this because they have a lot of experience in setting up lean manufacturing. That's their kind of forte. And also, Sandy Monroe personally invested money into Aptera, which gives us as investors a lot of confidence in that they're doing a good thing. All right, so Aptera will need a lean operation to meet its production goal of making 40 vehicles a day by 2023. So, they're going to make those paradigm additions hopefully by the end of this year, 2022, and then they'll start the ramp up in 2023. And at some point in 2023 and 23, they're going to hit this goal of 40 vehicles a day, which would be awesome. All right, so then they talk about Brian Snow joining, so we knew about that. They said that Aptera raised $35 million from 10,000 investors. So that means the average investment was $3,500. So that's good. That's a lot of investors. So he says it's been very humbling to see how many people have come out with their hard-earned dollars and said, "Hey, I want to invest $1,000 into a solar electric green machine." And also, on top of the $35 million, they've raised $10 million privately, so that's $45 million total. And then they think that, according to Snow, Aptera has several favorable conditions to get it to an IPO stage. And I think this was true couple of months ago. I mean, the market was really hot when Rivian and Lucid first started delivering their vehicles. The stock market was going crazy for EV stocks. EV stocks have taken a pounding in the past month or two. They've really tanked pretty hard, with most of these startups, going down 50% or more. And so I don't think that the market is that good right now. So hopefully conditions will change. And, most of those startups haven't ever even delivered any vehicles, like Canoe, Sono, Fisker, all those guys. They haven't even delivered a vehicle. Lucid and Rivian have delivered a few vehicles, and they have, valuations that are in the tens of billions of dollars. So the capital markets know it's the future. I think that's true. I think investors know that EVs are the future, and all the big money's in Tesla, and then we know Ford and GM and Toyota and Hyundai. They're all moving into EVs, so everyone knows that's the future. Companies like Lucid and Fisker have raised phenomenal amounts of equity and debt while the process of scaling up. That is true. What's different about Aptera's had far more engagement with the consumer, meaning more reservations than any of those examples. So I think it is true that Aptera has had more engagement with consumers. Does it mean that they've had more reservations than those other examples, Lucid and Fisker? No, I checked it out. It's not true. Aptera has about 16,000 pre-orders. If you look at Fisker had 17,000 pre-orders in June of 2021, so they probably have more than that now. And Lucid Motors had like 19,000 orders in December of last year. So no, Aptera does not have more pre-orders, but has a lot. And in terms of pre-orders, they have about equivalent number of pre-orders as Lucid and Fisker, and Lucid and Fisker have way more equity into them. They've attracted a lot more equity, so I suspect that if Aptera starts producing or has realistic production capability by the time they IPO, I think they will do quite well. Obviously, I think that because I'm an investor. If I didn't think that, I would probably not have invested money. Again, I think you can watch my other investment videos on this channel, but Aptera is a high risk, high reward kind of investment. Very possible you'll lose all your money if you invest in Aptera, and very possible you'll make 10 times your money. So that's kind of how it goes. And he says that's a stadium full of people that are saying we want Aptera, so we have to deliver. That's what Chris is saying. The problem is we have 16,000 now. It's going to be over 30,000 by the time we start production. That I think is true. They are going to have more reservations, and as soon as they have a production intent vehicle and they show that they have a production line and they have production capability, and it looks like right now, I would say there's like maybe a 50-50 chance they're going to make it. Once they're like a 95% chance they're going to go to production, then the reservations are going to skyrocket. And I think as soon as the first ones get delivered and people start seeing them on the streets, it's going to attract a lot of attention, both in the media and organically, just by the uniqueness of the vehicle. And I think they will get a lot of reservations. So they talk about the pricing advantage. It's very cheap. And then, Chris Anthony says that there's a $7,500 tax credit coming in too. So that's not, we hope that's true. The Build Back Better bill passed the House before Christmas, and then it's kind of died out in the Senate. It looks like it's not happening in its current form. So the $7,500 tax credit is very much up in the air. That is not. I wouldn't bet on it. It could still happen, but it's definitely not a sure thing. And Chris is making it sound like it's a sure thing. It's not a sure thing. It reminds me of a funny thing that I heard from a venture capitalist, and he said all entrepreneurs lie. It's just the good ones. They know that they're lying, but it's optimism rather than just flat out lying. And so you have to have a ridiculous amount of optimism to be an entrepreneur in a startup space. And so they all like to put their best foot forward. So anyways, I think that everything looks good. Sandy Munro is working. They're building out this thing. It looks like they're still on track. I think they are. It sounds like it's early in 2022, but so far things are going according to schedule. They're attracting enough capital because they need a lot of capital to set up a production facility. And once they go to production, I think they will be very successful. Hopefully this tax credit comes in. If this tax credit comes in, I think that the number of orders for an Aptera are going to go through the roof once people realize that you can get a vehicle like the Aptera for under 20,000. That'll be amazing. Okay, so tell us what you think, and thanks for watching, guys.